happened to me in Queens when the nurse stabbed me with the needle. Like, I'm talking about, it wasn't just, oh, put the needle in. No, she put the needle in my arm like this and went like this with it and turned it. Yeah. So, you know, at this point, I have anxiety when it comes to getting needles and stuff like that after she did that to me. But it's like when I have moments when I'm thinking, that's the thing, that's what happens to me. Like right now, when I just, when it's like when I get to those moments where I kind of like space out and I'm just fathoming like pure thought, some part of my limb will jump. Like just now, it just happened in my leg. I feel it happening in my what's the part like near where my Achilles is. This is really terrible what happened to me. And it's extremely traumatizing. I went to several police departments that night before anything happened to me. And I told them what was happening. And there was a black woman at the police department on, I think, 176th Street in River Road. It's on the same road as the Yankee Stadium. Not 161, but like the north to south road. That one that's up there in the Bronx near the Dollar Tree. It's past the Dollar Tree. Underneath the train tracks, I went there and I spoke to all of them, and they said that they wouldn't help me because they couldn't step in until a crime was already committed. And I said, okay, but they're trying to kill me. And then the black woman who works behind the desk looked at me and said, well, what do you want us to do about that? So I went to that police department. They said they couldn't help me. I went to another police department downtown. There was only one police station downtown that helped me. And I had to tell them that some random guy was just following me and I needed a place to stay for a while. And they were like, okay, you can just sit down over there, and when he leaves, you can leave. That was the only bit of help I got from them. None of them would help me. There was one instance where I was walking past a school and a gentleman pulled out a knife and I ran, and I just so happened to run into a police car. And I flagged them down and let them know. And I asked them would they turn on their body cam footage, and they refused to turn on the body cam footage. This was two police officers in the car, and they ended up giving me a ride partially to my house. And it was so weird because the police officer was asking me like, well, what's your address? And it's just the way that he was asking it. I just didn't necessarily trust him. So I didn't have him drop me off all the way home. I just had them drop me off somewhere close to home, and I got myself back here. And at that time, I don't know if I even had keys to my apartment, because when I lost my bags and my stuff like that, I didn't have keys for a while until I found like the spare key in my apartment. I don't know if this was before or after I found the spare key in my apartment. But yeah, there's just been an extreme amount of trauma. So like when I'm sitting here trying to figure out and I'm researching like what will be causing spasms in my limbs when I'm having thoughts, and I found something called FMD or something like that. So I need to get that checked out to see what's going on with that. And then they also said like what would be the cause of that, and it was like it could be trauma. And then like when I said like what they gave me in the Espanola alcohol, and it's not defamation because that's what they gave me. Now, it doesn't mean that Espanola did it, and it doesn't mean that they didn't. You understand what I'm saying? It just means that somebody put something in there. And it's so crazy, too, because when you hear the celebrities like, oh, when you go to different parties, don't drink the alcohol, somebody might end up in your butt. It's like if you understood, like maybe that's their story, but it's like what happened to me is like, if you understand that these people work with not only technology, not only do they have people who work with them, but they also utilize like witchcraft and stuff like that. And they send poltergeist spirits at you, and they send all of these different things. Now I'm a shaman, so for the average person talking about this stuff, it may come off as like, oh, I don't care at this point. It's like, I've been sexually assaulted in broad daylight in the middle of Harlem while a bunch of white women stood around me recording and smiling. Like they were literally standing there like this, while the guy was literally forcing my pants down and forcing his fingers into my vagina and my ass. And I was doing my best to fight him off. My legs were bleeding and everything. Like, it was horrible. And even before that, I was all the way up the hill, near like Broadway, and that's where he first came over to me. That was my second encounter with him. The first encounter I had with him was in Harlem. It was on 135th Street, but